measure the bowl, we have to restart again, please. So we start by 5:15. You can shake me. So in the shape the start. Good luck to everyone.
Okay, hello. Welcome to the 2024 National Chess Championship of Liberia. We are playing this edition in 2025 because the event was postponed from the fourth quarter of 2024 to the first quarter of 2025. Uh, Due to a series of challenges, we need to shift from the beginning of 2025 to May 2025. Uh, Thankfully, watching over some of the others. And today we are starting the classical edition. The event did start a couple of weeks ago on the 11th of April 2025. We started with cadet championship, the senior championship, and followed by youth, junior, and basic. All those are considered preliminary. Today, the main grand event is going to determine who the best players are for chess in Liberia. Uh, Round one, as usual, is interesting because the top players are expected to win, and we still get some surprises. Uh, but as things stand, the top players are winning. We are going to be here for 9 rounds. So today, just about testing our broadcast, checking the ball, making sure PGM as well as the live video feed running smoothly. And then after that, we start to have uh, a regular commentary, guest participants, and even the players at some point start to make a few comments about the game they play. So let me just quickly check on some of the games that have been played. I see one is game versus Kenneth, former champion Bobby Ballard, current senior champion Mr. James Video. We followed the game Tuesday, but not so much to write about. We do see Alisa against former champion James Kono, Emmanuel Tar against the current champion that has this is an investment based on stocks. So Emmanuel Tar is an unpredictable player, but the rating shows he's several points below any this kind of current champion. So, uh, for the two don't sort of play in classical chess gives everyone opportunity to bring their preparation to the pool. So that's when surprises happen, especially in our one. So if we are looking for games in which one of the first, this could be one of them because Fernando Jai doesn't play tournaments regularly, but he plays a lot of chess. And the volume of games also helps. So, okay, I like quick on opening. And I think this is something that Lira likes. I'm surprised that Manota is playing uh, English system structure. He plays usually moves that not directly in line with theoretical requirement for winning play. But yeah, it feels like he's been doing some research, some kind of preparation for this tournament. Okay. Uh, just hoping that these moves are exactly what we have on the board because sometimes we have problem with broadcast and transmission. It's can be a bit off. The players are playing different set of moves. Something was happening. Let me check. I'm not seeing this move on screen. What's happening? Okay, now. All right, this game has ended 4-1, so I'll go through this game quickly and compare with what's on the board and try to figure out the moves for capture. So we have trade on the F7, F8. Okay, this static of grab of a pawn to 6. He cannot capture now because the rook is on defender, and that would be the loss of this or the loss for Spinzers. Okay, we are at this point. If I can find them, I'll come up the news. We have White Lever that they playing for 2 looks. And now playing against Black Manata on the rook, man is publisher. And as you can see, White now has 2 pass points. So I just want to verify that this position because we've been having problems with TGT broadcast sometimes with the screen. TV. Okay, I will verify this game. Manata, Lewa Debit, and Manata. So for now, we have another game that's on camera. Our vice president, who has decided to play his first classical, Greater Classical tournament, is playing against experienced Canadian master. That is on the that is on the 7. As you can see in the camera feed, Vice President is playing White against Daniel Philomene for this gap. So let's see how this game goes. The game against champion Leo David and Leo versus Maneta appears to be a bit off. So we have to check the full sheet, check the BGM, verify what's happening on it, and then we can continue to review that game. So past president and usual old school chess, it starts with b4, b4, d6. Ah, e4, e6, d4, d6. I expect Daniel to play something else here. He's someone who's known for playing congested structure. Oh, I think I'm getting the vice president is playing against Gerald Dix. Nobody Deva versus Gerald Dix. And Daniel Coleman playing someone. Daniel Coleman is playing, okay, Prince Jalil is on camera. So, yes, sorry, my bad. Daniel Coleman, Prince Jalil. So, right, Daniel Coleman, Black, Prince Jalil, the wife, bring the E4, now FTD by, uh, okay, so exchange on C6, Castle, Castle. Well, for those who may be watching Adventure for the first time, this is games we typically play. Uh, Initially, we try to present proper center, and upon a contest from the opponent, we try to freeze the pawn and switch to some flank play. As you can see in the first within the first 10 moves, White has already castled, planning to get his pieces in the center, but he also has closed on the pawns, but not taking on d5. Instead, he decided to push on d5. Don't know the idea behind this, but it was an invitation for playing it and playing against someone with level experience like that. He is not going to buy into your consider. So he decided to keep the pawn system fixed in the middle. And once you have a close center, there is no need to lose move because you want to castle. Castling becomes a theoretical requirement. So here, the very experienced Daniel kept the king in the middle. Right after castle, he decided to break. Uh, Meanwhile, he still has the option of castling queenside if there's a need, and he also has the d5 option that he can deploy his heavy pieces on. Right now, we have point followed it, and all that is on the back of the h5 already. So Prince Zabadina is just trying to do damage control by keeping it h5 open. Open because once you do exchange on that file, Daniel will be things. So you see quick deployment and a retreat of the knight trying to solidify the inside structure, which has already been compromised. The fact that the pawns are way advanced from the protection of the king, which is something you don't do them alone. If you are castle, you have to ensure pawns are available. Yeah, curious about king, uh, this protection. And this is actually on backward but the structure has already been compromised. Castle of the king. Uh, He's now using Prince is now using pawn playing h4 to protect the g5 pawn. Uh, Hoping that it's straight on g3, so you can take fg3, then king can sit temporarily save it on h2. If these move happen, I think the pressure will be reduced and the king can put itself on h2. And yeah, the fact that black is still in the middle, the white some kind of chances. There is still experience for this, so my guess is in this game going to keep the ball as strong as possible. And, oh, okay, Prince decided to take it, and Daniel captured in a way for the kings, the queen side, the king side. Oh, this is a move that I would by playing bishop to d7. You can see the idea he wants to battery his queen and bishop to have an attack along the white diagonal, which reaches all the way to the castle territory of white king. So we see the idea of getting on the white when it's all attack. So this king g2 move of complete honor, and we are searching for move that is in need of it. Now you have so much pressure, everything. And the interesting thing in this game is it's not the fact that the king castle has broken. The idea that it's totally untouched. He has no reason of castling or moving his king. Meanwhile, the opponent king has migrated from e1 and is now h3 with threats all around. So at this point, it's all about getting the black king into play or into safety now into play because uh, the only weakness from the perspective of black at this point is the fact that the rook is still on h8. It needs to be somewhere perhaps along the open d5 or to find a way to work along the rook that's already in place. So getting the rook on the d5, getting it even on the b5 is better than what it is now. So far that's it. No worry. First you gotta check and then f4 I would say because he has the time, he's utilizing the options he has. But for me, the priority here is to get the rook into play and try to break open the h5. So instead of playing all this move, I will expect Daniel to focus on mounting pressure or taking this h3 pawn and try to connect the two rooks. If you can break open the g5, there's no need to transfer what white is attempting to do. Check on b8 was nothing. So let's see what we find another castle. Okay, the king not to get a king in the safety board. He had to get it. There's no threat. The bishop on e2, it can be worse than it is. It will otherwise be the bishop of something on e5. So there's no threat that Samuel is passing away from. It's all about development, trying to make sure he plays the king on g6. G6 square is it's interesting because it's taking away from black possibility of standing of material and the fact that white does not have a light square bishop. You can free the floats along the white squares and improve the position of the king. So castling makes sense, and I think this game is just fun. I'm still surprised that at move 30 we have the pawn on h4 still survive. Uh, I expect French double to do this because see the material difference. So we got four pawns, five, a bishop pair against the one bishop. The rest of it now is just a waste of time. The game is done. So we move on to okay. Now we have our vice president camera, and I promise tomorrow will be better. Today we have not to do. We have to accommodate stakeholder, play test match against champion, then just simplify entertainment, and we have to settle in, make sure that let's say get parents out in time, and run through a quick technical meeting. So we're struggling with fatigue after working throughout last night to get things set up. So this excuse us for today. Tomorrow we're going to have a better show because everything that must be said has been said and will be said tomorrow. Discussing the games. So I think it's enough for French diabetes. I see nothing new happening than that. Which he has just moved with tempo. So it's just a matter of time. This game is done. So we try to find a specific game against Jared. Jared used to be one of our top incoming players until he just fell off the cliff. So let's see how he goes up against the vice president detective who is holding his head in a thinking posture. So let's see how they started this game. Hopefully we got a clear transmission of all of them. So we have Gerald Dix, 1862, playing white against the vice president of the Liberia Federation, who is from Rita. And that's one of the motivations of playing this tournament. So he played e6, e4, e6, in fact, the French are variant of it, which is becoming popular in the Liberia. Uh, let's see if he sticks to uh, e4, e6. Nice. So now, now they go into a usual territory where makes moves, not following specific opening principle up to any logical conclusion. We decide to mix things up early to get people off balance. Sometimes it works, often it doesn't. So I just run through the game here. And just a word on Gerald Dix is they have one element who can win very easily play back and forth. He will move a knife forward, move it behind, reroute it on behind. So most people are just forward-minded with chess. Sometimes it's a mistake even top players make. Do not calculate moves that bring the pieces back. But Jero is one person who patiently take pieces back. And that's even part of his plan, that he's doing it for bluff. So as a result, his games go longer than they should on average. So, so a VP quick Picasso, he has his piece floating in the middle. This is something I just I'm not a fan of to see in the middle of the pool, early, just trying to conclude the opening phase of the game. You see a piece, not a pawn, controlling central square is present. This is something I don't recommend it's invest. And yeah, one piece protecting a piece, some kind of tactical idea. If you attack the defender, the opponent will have to struggle. Recapturing also save piece or hanging piece in that case. So for me, better advances. Pieces can control central square from a distance, especially bishop. Bishop is simply placed on d7, keeping out e4. Doesn't have to be. Well, castling, oh, time, don't sometimes. But who knows, maybe it's right. Um, oh, bishop to h7. This is a move I've not seen through my life because from the structure on the side of white pawn on b2, c3, d4, it indicates that things will start shifting along one side soon, and the structure being maintained on the king side says castle and protection. So definitely white is prepared, and you cannot attack the castle king with the light bishop that penetrate into the director inverted by placing that bishop set. So I don't know what it here is, but I think that retreat is not in the interest of black. And what up for immediate exchange of the bishop. Okay. So this is where I'm talking about the quality of the game. I would think white has strategic advantage, the positional advantage, seeing black talking of bishop h7. Why create a bishop that is already strategically misplaced? The longer that bishop stays on h7, the more you have time to prepare and launch inside, of course, after casting. Now he cast. So I don't know what level of fear the presence of the vision is here into white, but see no reason losing of blue just to trade of each other. We are published from that point. So Jara double booked in the middle. I'm struggling to follow the plan here, so forgive me. Also because extremely tired. Uh, Black has a lot of problems, but it's creating more problems. And this is the strange part. The night on the night on F8 is not the best place to use in the world. And the knight that is on H7 is also in need of a rescue. Why create additional weakness in the position by playing F5? F5 automatically turns the E6 pawn into a permanent weakness. You need a piece now to protect this pawn while as long as it remains on the board. Yes, you know, point here, oh, you know, the point can leave anytime. Sure. And you have this feminine weakness. This thing you think is the weakness on side of white to keep the point in alignment of the book. It's just something temporary. This move, that's how we do things. Now we're injecting more weaknesses into the play. Every time you push a point, you create a weakness in it. Every time. Because what do we say? Pawns don't go back. Well, I'd like to see how this game this game is going. But count the number of weaknesses here. F8 is a weakness, H7 is a weakness. Now by pushing D6, you have made H6 a weakness, and we already have E6 a weakness. Uh, Meanwhile, pieces that in need of move point to somewhere, the rook will come and control this far, build up the tree. A lot of things will happen, but we are busy moving on. So let's see what our VP is cooking here. Okay, it shall retreat all the way to the original square. It's like you're resetting for the start of the week, and now the next time. But imagine the king is just in the ocean of weaknesses. How is this game to play? Why it's trying to open things up? I guess the target is square is fine. You create a knife and then get a point there. So now goes point. The knife and create a point is there. Then you can start pushing on and get the second knife while you're centralized. So, fine. So with move, okay. King is now relinquishing square for the prepared. I guess he's trying to reverse the team for too many weaknesses with the juice of the phone. Knife. Oh, now check, and the king goes to G6. Factor up there, pawn stop in the middle. Oh, he's factoring and the E on the E file. Oh, this is how not to play chess. Imagine the location of this king versus his counterpart. The white king is safely built on G1 with sufficient or better protection around, while the black king is exposed on G6 with weaknesses around four. So now you have to face a rival point. How do you respond to point to G2? Because obviously you can see why he's playing capture, push pawn, or try to break open by playing the knight from not from H2 to H3 before even moving the pawn H4. It's going to certainly break open that castle. It's no longer a castle. all of the phones have been prematurely pushed. You know, there's something common in that area with you. The more you push phones on the side, castle, especially when two things are in the same region, whether on the inside or on the inside, the more you push phone in the direction of the opponent team, the more you are considered an attacking player. Even if the position will not require the set up the ball and set up the ball. I think in the case Black as sports is one thing else. Imagine even on the side of the ball where they can still see structural intact. But Black has problem inside, he has problem in the middle, push up for this, and he has problem on the inside. So finally he's inviting the trade on H5, on G5. And with that trade, you have heavy pieces that may be coming on the G5, some in the G5. So okay, let's start to check to see which other game can can do. So I will leave briefly to go and reposition the camera in upper where we up to the booth. As you can see here, champion one, six, yes. But we have two other players now. So I need to camera to catch up with you and city. So on board two, we have James Tono inside. Suspected this game was not played, yes. And on board three, we have Emmanuel against the champion Liberia, and that's a game they watch. That's a game trying. But yeah, let me reset camera. Well, so I'm back. At least trying to drink some water. Help me recover from the fatigue. As you can see on camera, right, golf, Daniel Kulimani game against Prince Jabadi. Of course, with the better result. Uh, this is a win there for Daniel against Prince. So let's see if we can just take a look at the finishing goal. Well, these are two veteran players, but Daniel is way more. I don't see the material difference too much of point or Bishop. Nah, so he has a decent enough point uh, against his opponent in the final setup. So could they go back to where we got this team? After just around because I was surprised that his experience as our candidate Master Daniel if he did not take the pawn of this fool and instead he played other moves. Castle when I will take the pawn easily, I don't know why is it that uh, okay. Uh, perhaps he was afraid of rook d8 check. So rook d8, there's nothing there. Rook d8, bishop d8, and if rook d1, I can just step up d7. Let's say uh, play, no, let's say he plays something else. Check. First, he has to respond. Mm, this is like a serious check. Oh, making a mistake. Uh, the the bishop will be dropped. Mm, okay, so let's do the. This is why you do that. When you start playing too confident, so that's not bad. Playing F3, F3 is this check, bishop grab down to D8, and if rook D1, yeah, rook E7, and that's all. Oh, I'll take my off this because once I get the H open, there's another corridor because according to chess theory, no matter how you are winning, you try to make it very unpleasant for them. That's one of the not so cool side of chess. It teaches you a different level of calmness. So, well, but Daniel didn't see all this. Perhaps he was very better player than that. So he decided to just Newcastle and white push FTD. Because definitely FTD was the man. FTD to prevent black from being the one to play. So even now, I would say check. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And the bishop. Bishop takes FTD, rook takes FTD, pawn takes GT, and now the bishop temple. And at this point, the game is done because black has a full piece for all the exchanges and a pass point. For me, that was the end of the match. Move to the seventh game of it. So we have access down to Botiri. So let's see Botiri and town. We were there. So another ties refresh the time pieces and you are the is playing white. Okay, so let's see. This is the I was saying. Uh, the potential of giving us the underdog surprise. Another time is okay, we are underdog. We always say because we like to play take computer, even if it's better than the player, especially the high stake games. He usually tries to get somehow started playing against a national champion in first round. National champion is white. There's a lot at stake here. He has a chance to build his rating and that tournament which needs confidence beating the champion who's the elected winner of this tournament. So uh, the US stands with G4. As you know, the US now living evangelist of the point pong opening and Manata go for E6, C4, D6, D5. Well, it's a familiar opening for both players. They have played it several times because it's a popular game amongst the players here. And usually when we play this game, especially the those who do not understand the ping pong opening, they lose to very complex middle for tennis. So, if uh, Leo decided to play this for a draw or to complicate the position for his low reserve opponent, I'm thinking that at some point in this championship, we will the players to give the reasoning and the rules, choice, and putting on play all the things that both the can for the that's why we see in top level chess and professional. I think we will try having a post match this semester play this bit. The main decision today. But now playing another time we from opening because you do not want to stay on for long with things complicated against someone so dangerous like that. So we go quickly because they are into the ink now. Okay, all rules, castle, also castle, similar things. And this one goes down watching of activity C5 on both sides, who invests in opening it first and deploying pieces there. So we'll put it, but this game is already on. Training. Now we start to see the progress. So Emmanuel is now pushing first. So say your heel push is going there. So Emmanuel is attacking his thinking. But then we see weakness again. So so I want to see where things really change and put it to the end of the after the conclusion. Okay, trade. Um, so F5 is the move of start to now you have African F1 with a bishop that can be nicely implemented. F3 or D3. Okay, just F3. And I give my bishop away the piece. But check first. No, I will check first before deciding the thing of my heavy piece. Think that every break down. Well, there's the current position. Uh, just as I fear, white has an advantage. Uh, didn't play purposefully, and now that advantage has been so. Click possible around. So that advantage has been further. So we have forwards. We really need to see how this position came about. Because the rook pair is good, but not so good that you want to be down full solid point, couldn't give it all point just to get a rook pair that's no particular value. So we didn't see where six were made. So then we were just after three. At this point, teams saying, okay, at this point, this one move 19, instead of looking for white, two roads, bishop against two mana piece in a row. So, what one more? See, okay, again, to perform. So, yeah, everything's still fine for white. Who would have this position, which is an ideal position for one? If you have this position in the train, you wouldn't want to wake up. Yeah, because you have all of the pieces in their natural square, not this 30, 39, or before move 39, on it. Okay, yeah, move 28. Even before move 28, yeah, this one, move 24, you have two rooks and a bishop against two mana piece and a rook, two mana pieces and a rook. And you have a pass form. White on this game to win with ease. Don't know. Get it for one competition. For protection of the pass form. And then came the capture of the bishop. Now takes F3, takes F3, bishop attacks, and rook return to F. Still trying to oh, Okay, at this point, White started to go pawn hunting and came back. Control the A5 flank protected by pawn, which is all still good. And right in there. Oh, oh my God. This is the tactic of this is the tactic of that unsettled the champion because uh, the queen is high, the C1, the rook is high, D1, but then who's taking care of the D4 pawn? But White initiated a things on that going to all these pawn capture that didn't really support the game plan of White at the time. And after things, I think a simple move here, if you realize the mistake, would be to attack that point. So he capture, and now you cannot take back. So he drop, drop the chase of the coin off the back. And you have to remain close enough for it and that's obtained. That is obtained. A rope cannot move unless the coin is that double at the back. Oh, and he gets serious. And you see, this is why we're talking about yes. Just a few months ago, White had again the win, and he was choosing which variation to use. And now Black is in charge, asking all the tough questions, and White is now fighting for his dear life. National champion, wow, playing against a loaded rated player who is very dangerous. He chose to play on E4, which is like an open invitation for complicated. And now you have to take yourself straight up when you came to town. Phones have already left. So, for many. Main point of interest here is the fact that Black King has not been bothered in all of these exchanges. The king is safe, they sit on H7. There's no bishop on the board. You go into a rook and bishop in 2 pawns advantage. This is a sad loss. It would be a sad story for the champion if he doesn't find a draw or try to hold something in this. Even if he does, it will be magical to get a draw from this one. It's not normal to play in this fashion. I think Doctor said, 2 points down, and your king can pull the loose box pawn that on the piece of leaf. You have to teleport your king on the other side of the board. But you also have 3 to 2 majority on the king side, therefore your king cannot leave the board. No problems for the move. Okay. Um, No problem at all. Now you're breaking things up for capture, capture the pawn, which is right. Now it's threatening to go. I want to see what happened here because it's like the table is flipping for the second time. Hmm. Uh, if you survive this game, you will always play of course against a player so the reason. So the pawn capture g5, rook back to c1, and you see the threat is clear. He wants to check me. How do you avoid check? Check, dropping a pawn, and when it goes into your territory, then you are for a check to free yourself, and then you g5 square one skip. But that came at a cost of pawn. You're up two pawns, and now you're check, trade. Now the champion is seeing all of them are pushing. Dispensing all of them are pushing. So a simple drop of the bishop will solve the case. At this point, I really need to know what is going to be the a bishop to seven, bishop to f7. Yeah, bishop to f7, trying to save the bit. But let's see. In this space, of course, and then drop another one. Oh, this is heartbreaking. But I don't know who's going to feel hurt the most. White had the game, he slipped, he blundered into a losing end game, and then black an easy one of two pawns, one of which is clearly fast, split and let go the two pawn advantage, and we are in the draw territory. So you see, it's like this game has way more to offer than we thought. You can see from the live camera feed, the national champion is still thinking, which means the game is still home. Uh, King is now going on the edge of the board, trying to get some breaking edge, but he just came from a very postural position where he thought he was going to be checkmated, picking up the black king, and now he's trying to go on the queen side of the board and attempt to run down with the pawn. This creates some countertension because with two heavy pieces still in the hands of white, uh, he stands the chance of winning this game if there's any further mistake. So see a check here from white trying to do things, and you need to control the pawn from the check. A potential for repetition here. Nope. It's like white is being beaten up. Having survived the worst day of his life, he's not pushing for the win because a repetition here could have still the draw, but he said no, he opted out of the position. So I think he's angry at himself for giving Black a chance to win, and now he will punish Black, turning it around to a win. But this is where making serious psychological mistakes in the high tempo games. Uh, he had a game to win. He let it slip. He nearly lost the game. And now it's a clear draw, but he wants to force the win. So if it works fine, everyone applauds you. But it's forcing. People start, why can't you take the ball from the habit? So, this, is this normal? It's like a drop of a rope. I think there's a problem with the transmission. Maybe the game has ended. Let's see what's 6. See what has a point. So let's see what happens. or the in transmission stop. Okay, uh-huh. Wait, and the transmission stop here, but I see why. So when you're on the ball from the live MLV, and that means a couple of things are happening. They are traded and the form promoted. Well, we stay with the game for some time. Let me see if we can get the ball updated because clearly they going past move, which is full. Then going past this move, the so we retire on the game of see king rule and pawn for black, and then king and queen for Yeah, so as promised, the PGM files are now updated. We have uh, the live book from where we stopped. Uh, as you said, White is trying to make up for the near loss. So we see series of moves that came after the update from our very good job with the PGM file. And we have reached the point where we have a brand new point on the board, but let's see how we got there. Because at this point, draw one, yeah, a draw was declined after lacking miraculously hit this net. Okay, I think the moves were different from what we saw earlier. So these are the correct moves for the adjustment touch. The adjustment corrected by the counter. So all these are what actually happen in the game, and then we have the full screen. We still think that something is wrong with these moves because the rook shouldn't be here for this point. Uh, so I guess we just rely on the live camera feed for this game because we still don't have the correct full in system. Some trade happened that was not captured. So we will get correct moves later. So we just rely on the, the live camera feed. So we expect to guest commentators anytime soon. We might be uh, we might be getting this video Ines Kelly from the checks record and yes Canada so Joe Catabor Lagos so two games checking for Vice President Israel Biden Gerald Dix also have to see Melo move against who's Melo move there of the for the first cap. Melo move Jerry Smith. Okay, yeah, Melo move Jerry. Alright, so we still got a few games to talk about, but in any case, once we have the best commentators in, we will use some of these games. Again, I want to apologize for being extremely low on energy. We have the our two nights instead of everything which feature all of the research we usually have these things. So we will want to switch to Melon mode so we can get updates on the three, which is critical. Jerry Smith is back right, see from the form. Again, I'm surprised to see a lot of people in this comment. A lot of people. Switch. D4, D5, knife to the 96. Okay. Almost like playing Trotsky, but with a different flair. Let's see if we can force us into of course another opening as become so popular. We gave our Nigerian credit for this London system. They play bullet classical it plays number three matches. And it promises a draw if you play well. If you're not good at seeing the intricacy of your team play out before you have to deal with a lot of surprises, especially play. So this is when they play after in the tournament of this level, several practice games. I guess middle mode knows exactly what yeah, Jerry uh, is unrated, so cannot talk for or against him because you cannot be sure what his actual playing level is. The fact that he is narrated. He has not participated in any classical tournament, even though we don't have a lot of this year. But you know, I say from the backstage. Yeah, okay, let's see if we can. Mr. Joe, example. Uh, CM Jobito, are you are you with us finally? Uh, can you hear me? We have most of our games concluding early, typical. Job, are you there? Okay. Whenever you
Mm,
are ready.
I'm here. I
Okay, now, yeah, yeah.
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
Nigeria. I'm hearing you now. How
Okay.
is Lagos?
No,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
in Abuja.
Yeah, in Abuja. Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Abuja is fine.
Almost, almost 70%
Abuja
of
is
my friends are even more in Lagos. So I just think of Lagos first
yeah.
before I think about the
I
rest of
noticed
Nigeria.
I noticed a lot of things in the games. I see the players
Okay.
but maybe it's just round one and maybe that's why. But the players seem to be rushing. They're just rushing as if they're playing blitz. They're not taking
Yeah,
the
the thing
time
too
to make
fast.
the moves.
Yeah,
It's not, but
that's
I believe it will settle maybe by round two, round three. Maybe they
round two, round three. I think it's been
settle
a
and
long
then they
time since it's been a long time since we play a classical tournament, and that could be
play
responsible
classical,
for it.
right?
Yeah, they're playing classical, but it's been a long time since we
Yeah.
played
So
classical tournament.
that's well, yes, and then when the tournament wants to start,
Yeah, so
when the
it's
tournament
up to
want to
you.
start like this, everybody's
Yeah, I mean it's up to you which
maybe
game you want
the
to
experience.
look at first. Yeah, sorry.
I say maybe only the experienced players will be able to manage themselves in this early stage of the round. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
like
for
I
sure.
noticed
So
Bobby Bala, he has won his game. Harold
yeah,
Evans has won his game, and then I noticed won his game
we
as well.
just see.
So it's
Okay,
just amazing
actually,
how this
yeah,
why the games are so fast.
the
It's really
teams are
surprising.
too fast, yeah. And they
Yes.
didn't get
So
second time control.
when games are fast like that, I think quality suffers
Mm,
a lot.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
have
see
you looked through any of
Leroy.
the games? Yeah, I think Leroy game should be over. I'm seeing him reset the pieces. Let me just switch for a
Leroy
moment.
has
So,
one
okay, Leroy is
52
resetting
minutes
his
to his
pieces.
clock. Emmanuel has 1 hour 29 minutes. It's
I think
really
Hero won this game.
it's really shocking, you know. But I think they want to enjoy themselves and make the
Yeah.
best of their
They-
position because yes,
Okay, so right now we have, I think, for two game is over. James Conner won on forfeit. Uh, Manata just lost on three to Hero,
was he
and
was he
I'm listening.
yeah, I said, did John Jala not show up for his game?
Yeah,
Was
he
he
he said
what's the word
he
now?
got caught up,
Was
he got caught up
he
at work. He got stuck at work. I think that's what happened to him. And we have both seven still on. Uh, Harold Evans on for eight. For nine is still on. Jerry Smith was Miller Moore. Uh, two equally matched players, but one is unrated. So for nine game is probably going to take a while. And on board 10, we see Kennedy Kengo and Joe Wow. I see Joe Wow time ran out, but there's no indication of his score on board 10. I think Kennedy Kengo won that game. Okay, Kengo won on board 10. And then on board 11, we have Lane Brown lost to uh, no, one of our players, which I think is just 15. Uh, Archie Dale with White. Yeah, so far we have just two games going on. So if you like CM Joe, we can look at one of these games that you found interesting. I'm having trouble with internet here. I'm trying to make sure I resolve it. In addition to the fatigue, experiencing problem with the speed of the internet. So if you get some break in in the audio from my end, please understand issue with the internet. So Jerry Smith. Okay, so we okay. We had CN job Atabo with us, and I think he dropped off in the back and experiencing problem here with the internet. So perhaps he's experiencing the same problem. Definitely we're going to give a better presentation tomorrow. Today is just the start of this event, and we really want the amount of work it took to get things set up up to this point. We are the same individuals who have to do all the setup and stay away to execute the one. Hopefully tonight we get rest. And after a rest for tonight, we loaded for two bounce two and three Saturday. promise you we're going to energize version of this presentation, going through everything move by move, trying to explain the intricacies. And expect to have a whole commentator journey. And this is just round one. So many more games to come up. Plus, the women's session must start later than scheduled. So we have a different level of content coming from that end this time. So let's be patient, take it slowly. We are happy to get this national championship on the street. We we know that tournaments don't start at full strength from day one. But thank God. We think we are better than 50% to start, and we will make continuous adjustment until we get to the closing ceremony, the 11th of May. Yeah, so on our notes, let's skim through some of the things that are still on. We have uh, number one, as I was explaining to CM Tabo, one easy win. No, nothing is easy in Chelsea. This one is still because there were a lot of mistakes made by Pastor James, and it led to many opportunities for White, being a strong, patient, very visually capable player. You can't help saying that it wasn't easy. Then on two, John Jallo having signed to show up in his Bruno. On three, was a season battle between national champion Leo Depe horses in the tournament, the time, who is unrated. And on the four, we have Daniel Coleman, who is still battling against Daniel Coleman is probably in trouble against Prince Jabba. Uh, this game should be over. We'll see the clocks still run. Uh, I need to take a call quickly. We are at the end of our broadcast presentation today. We have few games still being played. We have two more games still on. Let's check. We game for one for the two James Tono forfeit not for three. Leroy the one with the white pieces. Four Daniel Prince Labadie. I'm not seeing the result of this game, but it feels like Daniel made a mistake in the end, and he got, oh, oh no, oh, Daniel won this game. Black and for five, Richmond Yakman lost to FM Jacob for six. Leonja lost on forfeit to Ilan for seven. Concrete Japan is still battling against Gerard Diggs. Concrete Japan has the pieces. So that's one of the games still on. And the it, however, back against Gerard. For nine, Jerry Smith won the black for 10. Kennedy Kimball won with black against Joe Brown. For 11, Jimmy Brown lost to GDA 3-5. So we have just one game on Gerard Dix. So we will check to see how we can reposition the camera to give you multiple angles, and then the continual discussion of the thing based on where they. So I'll join you shortly. We still have the possibility of Canada Master Joe Zabo joining us from Abuja. We want to say sorry for the break. We have a number of problems yet to resolve. We definitely will post normal production quality tomorrow as we get here. Technical. So, thanks for the patience. Thanks for being there. I want to say bye. See you.